Okay, I'm not a big fan of these live videos, but figured I would update on this because it kind of does apply to everybody on the warrant. And I don't see if anybody's here at the moment. I think I can see questions. I'm holding this so I can read with my glasses as I do this. Today was the hearing for this warrant that has been being used, the bulk warrant. And if you can see the civil actions on this, what you're going to see here is sometime yesterday, which it was never on the website, on 12/4, which was yesterday at some point, don't know when. I checked the website pretty late before I went to bed last night. They filed to basically get rid of the warrant. And it's sealed. And that's, to me, very strange because if you look, and I'm going to try to zoom in better, you can say it has been sealed. So does that mean to everybody else? Well, as it turns, what it means right now is that bulk warrant they're running around using, it would not be valid once it's been in. So it's been in, there's the date, and there's what they did. So it shows that the warrant now is no longer, valid, which kind of interesting on that. Now, where this gets even more interesting as we go, which is, I'm going to pull the papers out kind of as we go. This is what you call the civil actions, and there's the case number. So this is public record. Anybody can look this up. I did try to get I went back to the clerk just to double check, and it is sealed. The only way that a sealed record is going to be opened or released is if the judge deems it to happen. How does one do that? Quite honestly, I have no clue because I've never had to try to get sealed records unsealed. Don't know. But it is sealed. Now, what's even more strange to this mess is this here. And what this is a response to my petition here as far as to challenge this warrant. And what you're going to want to understand on this, what they did, which I guess to all my old police friends, you know what, use these warrants because, yes, they can get away with this stuff. So to do a criminal warrant really you don't need to. All you have to do is deem that's in the public interest. I'll post this so everybody can kind of read it. Because you can go pick up a copy for yourself, but the problem is they're going to charge you to do it. So there's not really a need to waste your money. But what this is, if you look under this, the argument, I guess you can screenshot it if you want, or I'll just post it when this is done. And what this is basically the state veterinarian, which is Line Jones, what she did was drafted this argument up. And in the argument, what she is in normal people language saying, I guess that's the easiest way to explain this. What she's basically saying is that in that initial 37-page document, that last little blurb where she opens herself up till December 31st, the reason that was done, and this is so laughable, which page that was on, but I had to actually laugh at it, because she goes in to mention that if they would have had to do this every 14 days to actually use this warrant how it's supposed to be used, that it would have been too much resources, manpower, and money, and tying up court time to do 15 of these. Because apparently, according to her declaration, they would have had to do 15 different warrants to make these correct. So in the conclusion of this, she mentions here that to really basically deny my request, which was to challenge the affidavit. And it's right here at the top. I don't know if you can read that. The department would have had to come back to court every 14 days to seek renewal of the inspection abatement warrant. They would have to spend time and money presenting materials to the court that are substantially identical week to week. In this case, the department would have already had to come before this court 15 times to continue seeking routine renewals of the inspection and abatement warrant currently in place. This clearly is inefficient process not required by the statute that adds nothing to the department's role in ensuring animal and plant health throughout the state. So basically, that's your big screw you. We get to come do what we want, and it doesn't really matter. Now, if you take a look down here a little further at the bottom, take a look at who wrote this. This draft was written by the deputy. She's actually the deputy attorney general, so an assistant here of Javier Becerra. You see that right there? So that's who wrote this. So, I mean, obviously to challenge Miss McClune here, who's probably got like all these degrees, that wasn't going to be easy. But I did not know this document existed until today, so that's even more interesting. So what does this mean to you guys? Well, the warrant should be stopped till today. So if these people show up at your house, I got my dogs barking, I'm outside. If these people show up at your house, you know what, and maybe my language isn't going to be nice, but personally, here's what I tell them. Fuck off. You do not get to come in, no consent, no warrant. Make them go get another one, because why give up your rights? They're going to take them kind of anyway, so you ask yourself, what is the difference here? What's the point of it? Well, no good point to be made out of this, but it is what it is. So that's, if anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them. And as far as the judge goes, it was Judge Reamer, who is one of the more senior courts, or senior one there at the county. Yeah, they didn't want to hear anything from me or anybody else for that matter. When I wanted to speak, I was silenced that I have counsel, so I was silenced not to speak. And as far as the counsel goes, not real happy there, because over the past few days, the arguments that I took the time to go down to the office to assist in writing up, the attorney went ahead and filed on my behalf, but I did not approve of the document that was filed. So that's a whole nother issue. I got to deal with him next. And by them submitting what they did yesterday, I mean, this was kind of a, I believe it was premeditated. So where are we at with this thing? Well, we still have the initial complaint with Chad Morgan trying to release the documents of what disease exists, the epidemiology studies, the scientific data. I mean, if you've read his update, they're just, playing the paper game and just burying the guy in paper, which we kind of expected. So it'll be a while before anything probably is heard out of that. So as far as all of us go, I mean, my birds are dead. Obviously, we know that. There's really no point to even, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess if this is, if they did cancel this out as of yesterday, then they can't come back. I don't know. I guess I'll get maybe a free pass over the Christmas holidays so my family doesn't have to be terrorized. But then again, maybe they'll just write up one. I mean, to write up a warrant, at least a criminal one, would take less than an hour. But with this warrant, it's actually much better to just do a bulk one. It's much easier. So I would strongly advise, the police officers need to just do this. I mean, that way you can just raid homes as you want to, and you get to do it as long as you can claim that it is in the best interest of the public. So, that's what all this is. So that's kind of the update of what happened. Do I believe it was right or fair? No, I don't. I think this is an absolute, I'm just going back through these. I believe it's an absolute abuse of your Fourth Amendment rights. And it's just going to show that you really don't have any. I mean, unless you are a rich person or well-connected, they're going to come onto your property and they're going to do what they want. And you can spend all the money you want and do what you want. But too bad. We want to come in and it's in the best interest of the public. Bigger question is best interest of the public. Who's claiming that to be necessary? Because it all goes back to being necessary and reasonable. And I would sure like to understand who's coming up with that one, because I don't see where it's necessary or reasonable to do any of this stuff. It's pretty outrageous. So that is what happened today at court, and it's not a good thing. As far as we got all of our corrupt officials that are still on silent, missing. A sheriff, I don't know. He's basically making medical diagnoses without supportive documents of why he doesn't respond to me. So that's great. I'm pretty sure they just silenced the guy. But what that tells me is if you have somebody who is the law, the land, and there is no higher power in this county but Mr. Chad Bianco, seriously, you might want to rethink voting for this guy, because he answers to nobody but the people. But in this case, he doesn't answer to the people because he hides, and then he makes mean statements. So he's worthless. I would seriously stay away from that guy. I wouldn't vote for him again. His little girlfriend, Melissa Melendez, went with her and assured me she would look into this matter. She also told another, my neighbor and a friend of mine who reached out to her because we thought she was, awesome and she would help and look into this. She assured this other person that she would get back to that person in writing, and deaf ears, and now she's running for Senate, endorsed by the boyfriend, Bianco. So wouldn't vote for her either. The only person, again, who's bothered to do anything with this is Mayor Bergstrom. Senator Roth's office, missing again. I mean, every official that we've been brainwashed to believe that is here on our behalf and they're here to actually help us, they're not. They're not here to help you. They care about theirs truly, and that's it. And quite honestly, with this, unless it's in your backyard, half the people do not really care. They believe it's just a chicken and, whatever. And that's their right. That's fine. Where does this go? Don't know. But they got more positives now in November. There's the chicken choppers. One was flying around the Bloomington area, and there was one allegedly over in Norco. I have footage, but I haven't gotten to it yet. So that is the update of what happened. And it's not necessarily what I wanted or what I think is correct, but hey, that's what happens. The next legal recourse, because some will say, what can you do? Well, you have two choices. You can do a judicial review. I have put in for the facts and findings that I would like the court to respond to me on, of where did they come up with their facts and findings that this is even correct to be doing this in this manner. Don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll respond. Maybe they won't. Who knows? And the next step, if you do not agree with what a Superior County court judge is, you take it to an appellate court, which, again, is time and money. And they've got a lot more than I do of both. So that's where it happens. So, again, I will just remind people, if these CDFA, USDA, any of them come anywhere near your neighbors, your land, your property, whatever, don't do what I did. Do not be stupid. I wish I could have done this, and I will go to my grave with this one. Get my pets out and plead the fifth, and don't talk to them. You don't have to talk to these people. So don't. They are not your friend. They are not in your best interest. They just come make up whatever, and you get to believe it. And if you question it, you get to be like me. You get to just get warrants and tickets. And that was the other thing. After regular court today, I went by the traffic court to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing there, and it was a huge wait, and I have commitments with the kids tonight. So that's tomorrow's venture. So I guess I just wanted to update people so they understand what's going on with this. But didn't work out how I wanted it, and I don't agree with it. I'll post these in albums, or have one of the girls post them in albums, so you can actually read this document yourself and come to your own conclusion. Look up case law, just like I did. I mean, just take a look at it and read it. And I'll post it, and you guys can take a look at it. So you don't have any rights, and yeah, the government is here to help. Said no one ever. Yeah. So anyway, I will, I don't know, I'm still in Facebook jail till February, so I have to give the phone back. So I will try to check in when I can. Anyway, take care, guys, and I'll post this for you. If you have any questions or whatever your thoughts are, post them, let us know. All right, take care.